It was a week of bouncing back for the Beavs. Bounce back from a loss at Michigan, back from a halftime deficit against San Jose State, and a bounce back to big playing time and big gains for the star running back, bar none. Coach Anderson joins us to discuss the win that was and the Cardinal color challenge to come. Beavers Inside the Huddle starts now.
Everybody be a playmaker. Toward the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Beavers!
This young man, he demands greatness. And it's a look in his eyes, it's the tone of his voice. We were ready to go. He said we were going to go get 7. We went and got 7. That's our leader out there. That's our captain. And that's what changed it. He got us going. So I see him making plays. I have to make plays. Of course, it's all of us to make plays.
And welcome into Beavers Inside the Huddle. That is Steve Priest. I am Dusty Hara, the young man that you just heard from, Storm Bars Woods, and deflecting all of the praise and talking about his freshman quarterback, Seth Collins, following the Beavs. Big win against San Jose State.
Absolutely, and that's what Storm has been so wonderful about. He has deflected praise, and he deserves some by himself because he just starts off with a great game right here. You see his stats, and wow.
You know, it was impressive to bounce back that way. At the beginning of the show, you heard it was the bounce back week. And for Storm Woods, it definitely was. After not playing in the first half, I will call it, against Michigan, and a lot of speculation running wild as to, was he suspended? Was he injured? What was going on? I think that the message was pretty clear against San Jose State. Storm Woods wasn't healthy, and that's the reason why he wasn't playing against Michigan.
Absolutely, and I have never seen in 4 years Storm play with more purpose than this game. This was really remarkable to me, Dusty. He ran with speed, he hit people, he knocked them down, he was strong all the way through, but the purpose of his play was awesome. 151 yards, that's pretty impressive.
Well, he and his quarterback were definitely getting it done on the ground, so let's head over to the In Focus Mondo pad. It's a collaboration that works. You earmarked a couple of these of runs from Storm and Seth throughout the course of the game, and really it started in the third quarter in your mind, right?
Yeah, the third quarter is where the Beavers really took off. I'd sure like to know what Coach Anderson said in that halftime situation that worked out so well, because these guys came out firing on all fours. No. Take a look here. This is the second series of the second half for the Beavers. What I want you to take a look at is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in the box versus 5 Beavs. And what you get here is just tremendous blocking here and then outside. Block, just a stalemate on the weak side. But what really is important is this guy takes the handoff and makes a great cut to the outside. And look what happens after that. Great blocks. Look there, the great cut. He outruns people, gets caught by the angle here at the end, but it starts off with 30 yards, and he just looks super in that situation. And then to follow up immediately, the young quarterback, and again, I think what's important, because these offensive linemen played so well. 7 in the box right here versus 5 Beavs, and the standoff they get, this is really a zone play, that they run the zone, but this guy leads also. Seth just takes the quick move up the field, and it's an easy 9 yards to start another first down. And look at this. Look at the young man. No indecision there. Great play, and that's how he did all day. 114 yards, 151 yards out of those 2 guys. That's pretty special.
You know, you're talking about numbers. That's been the biggest issue in years past. Oregon State, when defense has numbers on the inside, it has been a boondoggle at times in that run game. It showed the versatility of the offense kind of helping move that along, as you can afford to have fewer numbers if you can just get to the outside and create a little space.
Yeah, and it's the experience of those offensive linemen. That's a big deal. 5 guys who have started, and Isaac Seumalo played his best game since he was injured a year and a half ago. He looks like Isaac used to look. He's an All-American candidate, and he had a great game for that.
Well, for as good as the offense was, and as good as that defense was with another shutout in the second half, special teams not so special, Steve, against San Jose State.
That's a polite way. You know, the Beavers cover teams have played pretty darn well. They're up at the top of the league in both those areas, but some of the other other things that happen, like right there, Ramal Dockery, who's got great hands, drops a punt down on the 5 right at the end of the second quarter again, and the Beavs are in trouble, a quick score, and you think, uh-oh, Michigan, replay. And then the Beavers fight their way back with this special team situation, and we end up with a kicker who has a few problems as well. This guy, he has absolutely been near perfect. He's 11 for 13. They ice him here just before the half. He misses again, 0 for 2. I don't believe that'll happen to Garrett Owens. I think he is a very good kicker. He's with a new holder, a new snapper, but I think he's solid, and I think he'll be solid the rest of the year.
Well, and that's something that we saw miscues, mistakes, whether they were the special teams against Michigan or an offensive turnover, giving the ball to the other team. And we saw the breakdowns happen. I think the one thing you can take out of a game against San Jose State is that you make those mistakes, but you find a way to correct it and right the ship. And it was really no harm, no foul. That's what a team that's growing will do, correct?
Well, you say that because if it had happened the same way a week before and the Beavers would have come back and played in the third quarter against Michigan like they did against San Jose State, might have been a different outcome like last week.
All right, we got a lot to get to as Beavers Inside the Huddle rolls on. Kevin Hogan, he's hobbled. Will he be playing tomorrow night when the Cardinal come to Reser Stadium? And the Beavs defense, which didn't play so well in the big house, showed up in a big way last week, which Stanford runs a lot of the same stuff that Jim Harbaugh's crew did. Yeah. Coach Anderson joins us next. Beavers Inside the Huddle. And welcome back into Beavers Inside the Huddle. We are joined now by the head man down at Oregon State, Coach Gary Anderson, taking a few minutes for us. Coach, thank you very much for joining us yet again. Now, Coach.
Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you having us on.
We got a new game we're rolling out for you tonight. We went down and we asked your players 3 living people that they would want to have dinner with, and I'm going to ask you. We're going to ask you to guess which player it is. And as we're thrown up on the screen right now, you can see Bo Jackson, Muhammad Ali, and J. Cole. Which one of these guys said those are his 3? Is it A, Caleb Salo, B, Storm Bars Woods, C, Victor Bolden, or D, Seth Collins?
Storm Woods.
Wow. Is he right? We'll see.
Great lead-in, Coach. Very good lead-in.
You know what, though? You made it easy for me, though, because media days, right? Storm was there. Seth wasn't, right?
Very good.
All right, let's hear from the man himself. Why is Storm Woods having dinner with these people?
You're at a dinner party. Give me the top 3 living people you want there with you.
Bo Jackson has to come.
Jackson hits that one to left field.
Muhammad Ali.
Ali jabbing and then with a flurry.
Probably J. Cole.
I got my wings carrying me.
Coach, do you know who J. Cole is? Do you have any idea who that is? You do?
I have absolutely no idea who that is.
Coach,
but I'm going to find out.
Hey, Coach, if Storm Woods has another couple of games like the one he just finished, you'll know who Storm Woods is. What a day. 151 yards, 17 carries. But more than that, he ran with more purpose than I've seen him run with on the football field. I mean, speed. He had strength. He did everything he was supposed to. Caught passes, made big plays. What a day for a young man. After a week off, or part week off, what do you think?
Well, first of all, it was great to see him back there and playing the way he wanted to play and the way he prepared to play for his senior year. I thought one standout play that comes to my mind was the little dump screen pass that he had where he made 2 or 3 people miss. He broke some tackles. It was a big third down. It got us into the red zone. We scored a couple plays later. But he did. You're right. He ran with purpose. He has definite desire. He was healthy. And again, I just admire the kid for his want-to and his toughness. Now I think we've got him to a position to where we're on a schedule now to handle and understand his competitiveness and get his practice habits back to where he needs to be and understand that, you know, he's an old guy now. He's not a young puppy running around. We'll get him ready to go every single week, hopefully. But I was really, really pleased. And it did us a lot of good to see Storm go out there and play like that.
Well, Coach, the young puppy back there, he also went over the century mark. Seth Collins, your freshman quarterback, I got to ask you, did you bring Coach Pat Casey in to teach him how to slide this week? Because we saw him taking care of his body a little bit more than what we've seen in the first 2 weeks.
It definitely entered my mind at some point to have Coach Casey come over and communicate with him, and it was good to see him go down and make a good decision. And sometimes he needs to do that, and he'll learn as he grows and he develops on when he needs to take those chances, take those opportunities to make a big play. But it was good to see him continue to progress. One of the plays that stands out for me in the game was Seth, as he got to his second and his third read on the Jordan. It was a tremendous throw over the middle, but that was not his primary read. The defense took away his first read. He hit the second one. So those are more than baby steps. When you can make a play like that in the heat of battle is a big step forward for Seth, and it was good to see him continually grow. And let's not forget how that offensive line pass blocked and also ran block and gave Storm and Seth time to be able to throw the football as well as run the football for Storm.
And, Coach, the defensive side of the ball was just as effective. Also, the defensive line. They played so well, and you know, we've seen so much pressure the first couple of weeks from the Beavs. And this week, there was a combination, a real different change, back and forth. We had, in this case, we're going to look at a three-man line, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to see a late move here, late pressure to the outside, and this is a huge play in the third quarter, if you recall. Describe what happened here. There's the late blitz by Ramal McGow, and there's the big pick.
Yeah, well, the bottom line is that's kind of a green dog scenario for us, where that means that he's going to have the back end man-to-man coverage. The opportunity that was two-man was our coverage in that situation. He has the back man-to-man if he comes his way. If not, he breaks off to the other side, and he can be a late rusher. He picked his spot well. The quarterback escaped, got a little pressure on him. That was a tremendous pick there. That was a very athletic play, and it was good to see the defense execute that play in a lot of different ways. You don't work on that all the time, but interception drill, you work in practice maybe once a week, and the kids executed it very well, made some key blocks. There's a couple blocks we can learn from there that we may not have taken or should have taken, but it didn't hurt us in that case.
Heading to your second place.
Yeah, Coach, this one's just a four-man line, and you get good pressure. People are sitting back in what appears to be a zone defense, and you get the pressure, and Kyle Pecco gets his first sack of the year. Four-man rush, great job. Kyle's really come along.
It's true. He really has. It was a tremendous move by Kyle. He was moving to the right there on a slant, came back across, read the kind of protection that was taking place, and was able to hit a swim move back underneath the protection, got himself freed up and made a big play. I thought Kyle had his most consistent game this last week, and that was one of the highlights he had, but he was consistent, played very tough. We're going to need him big time this week to be able to play the way we need to play to be in this football game against Stanford.
A lot more to come with Coach Gary Anderson as we look forward to Stanford. The keys to the game coming up, and Kevin Hogan, will he be healthy and available for the Cardinal come tomorrow night? And Reser Stadium should be rocking. That's a look right there at the Stanford Cardinal last week, knocking off number 6 USC. Now their next test is to come up to Reser Stadium and try to do it to the Beavs. Offense looked much improved last week, Steve, than it has been in previous weeks. Yeah.
Well, it did. It was guided by a guy named Kevin Hogan, as you know, and he does such a tremendous job. 4 years as a starter. He's 29-6. This is a very good quarterback who's had remarkable skills. He can run and pass, but that brings up an interesting season.
Well, let's bring in the guy who's been breaking it down all week long. Coach Anderson, still joining us down in Corvallis. Coach, you're heading into this week. Kevin Hogan leaves the stadium, leaves the Coliseum on crutches. How hard is it for you guys to prepare for a game when not knowing who the quarterback's going to be down at Stanford?
It really doesn't change anything for us. I believe Kevin's going to play. He's a tremendous competitor. He played with that injury for most of the, half of the game or when the injury happened. And so I expect him to play, number one. Number two, it's not like they're a spread team with a very athletic quarterback. The starting quarterback got injured, and all of a sudden they bring in another guy that can't run. They have players that can run their offense that have been in their system for a while. Now, is it Kevin? Absolutely not. But they're going to have a person, backup quarterback that can watch walk in there and handle their offense very well. His supporting cast, Kevin's supporting cast, the other quarterback's supporting cast is very talented. The offensive line, the tight ends, the wide receivers. McCaffrey is a special player. So there's enough pieces of the puzzle to be able to allow their offense to continue to move. But he is a tremendous player, and I believe he'll play this game for a long time.
Coach, talk a little bit more about this offense because of the power running game. They've got 4 seniors on the offensive line who are all starters returning. They are a very good team. And then they line up sometimes with your 22 formation, or even sometimes they bring in a big old guy to play for the wide receiver. I presume that you're expecting them to try to just run at you with power people like Michigan did. Play big boy football, like Gary Anderson says.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be big boy football a lot of the times, and they'll even get to 7 offensive linemen in there at times, and we'll have to sub with those packages to be able to stay big. Ideally, you would like to not stay necessarily in base, but get a little bit bigger with them. But this year, in the position that we're in, we're going to have to match big with big as much as we possibly can, and I think we've got a good scheme going in. It's a little bit risky at times to put us in a spot to be able to have an opportunity to make some plays, but we're excited about matching up with them. But they want to run the football. Stanford wants to be a power football team. Their offensive linemen are big, strong, and athletic. They do a tremendous job of pulling. They're very smart, so they'll identify defenses early, and their pre-snap reads are very good on the offensive line, which allows them to be able to get pullers and then gain gaps as the defense continues to grow to the edges, or the offense continues to grow to the edges. So it'll be a tremendous test for us. Our key is to, you have to have success on first down as a defense, and Stanford obviously wants success on first down as an offense, but their goal is to get it to 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, and then be able to play, and then be able to play with 2nd down and 3rd down and continue to move those chains. There was a drive in the SC game, I believe 9 minutes and some odd seconds left, and they ended up kicking a field goal to take a 10-point lead with about 3 minutes left on the clock. That's impressive to watch them move down the field. A lot of that was with their power running game, but it was also with hitting screens and the things they do, and even sometimes in the spread. Kevin made a couple plays with his legs at the end of that game, which is part of the reason why I really believe he'll be back and he'll play in this game.
Coach, you kind of mentioned one of your keys to a game, or alluded to it. What in the keep them short gains on first downs? What other things are you guys focusing on this week as a team to keep on improving on to get a win against the Cardinal?
Well, the big thing is we need to have a team effort. Offense, defense, and special teams. We'll have to win 2 of those 3 phases, which you really have to do every single week to be able to win. We have to get better in the turnover category, not turn it over as much on special teams and offense, and we need to get more turnovers on the defensive side of the football. We need to be better in the red zone on offense. We need to be better in the red zone on defense. We need to improve on 3rd downs on the offensive side of the ball, and we need to throw the ball better on the offensive side of the football to be able to do that. And it's a tough task to be able to do those things on offense, and it's a tough task to be able to do those things on defense against a very talented team. But again, we need to walk into this game when opportunity knocks, make plays. We're going to have to do fundamentals and play basics the right way, but get into the moment. We need to feed off our crowd, which I know it's going to be great. Our students are back. The fans going to be here. It's national television. It's as big a stage as that you're going to get in college football, so our kids will be excited to play. But playing in the moment, playing against a national ranked opponent at our place is where you want to be with a young team to see how we're going to continually react. This will be a tremendous challenge. We'll have to play our A game to be in an opportunity to be in a position to win the game. Our goal is to get ourselves in the position late in the game, find a way to make enough plays to win, as always.
All right, Coach, as we do every week, we went to Twitter. The fans have got questions that they want to ask you, and this question comes from Jessica. Coach Anderson, what are some of your biggest concerns heading into this Stanford game? Instead of some of them, why don't you just give us biggest concern heading into this Stanford game?
Biggest concern. Again, our ability to be able to continually play a team that is known for their physicality and will bring that physicality year after year, game after game, week after week, and it's proven that they can do it and they can sustain that physicality through 4 quarters and, quite frankly, through a whole season. That is obviously a big test. It's a big test for us. Now, we did not handle that extremely well in the Michigan game, and we'll be tested again. So that'll be the #1 concern as we move forward. I'm looking forward to it, and I know the young men are looking forward to also the physicality of this game. They've prepared well, but that's still a question you have to answer if you're going to take the next step as a program, and you have to answer the bell and step up and say we can be physical for 4 quarters with anybody.
The stage is set for tomorrow night down at Research Stadium. Good luck tomorrow night against the Cardinal, and thank you for joining the show, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it as always. Go Beavs.
Yes.
As you saw, Jessica got her question on the air tonight. You can get your questions out there too using the hashtag BeaversFB, and you can get your question for Coach Anderson next week. We've got our keys to the game. You heard Coach Anderson's. We've got ours. Steve and myself with our Honda keys to the game. It is now time for our keys to the game, brought to you by your Northwest Honda dealers. All right. I don't know why they continue to do this, but somehow I get the top billing. Keep drives alive. But you know, one thing the Stanford defense does pride themselves on, it is third downs, and the Beavs need to be better on third down. Answer the first punch. We saw against Michigan in the Big House, when they came out, that first punch didn't get up off the mat. You got to get up the mat time and time again against the Cardinal. And then win the special teams game. We broke down. They were not very good last week against San Jose State. You got to be flawless against a ranked team.
Good keys. I particularly like that first one. Beavers have themselves 18% defensively against third down situations, so that's pretty darn impressive. And the Beavers need to start out with their defense. They have to stop the power run. Gary talked about it. We've talked about it. You'll see multiple sets. You'll see various pressures. They simply have to find a way to combat big people. And the run game, Beavers haven't gained 100 yards against Stanford since 2009. They need 200 this week. And Coach mentioned it also. Plus 2 turnovers. The Beavers need to be out there, make something happen, turn it into points.
Yep. Answer the bell when it rings down to Research Stadium. What's your prediction tonight or tomorrow night?
The Beavers have got to hold this team to 21 points less, and I believe they can. And I think the young man and Storm Woods are going to run their hearts out and win this football game. Close game.
You know who's been really good against them? Kalani Sitake against the Cardinal.